underestimate the power of a small group of committed people to change the world. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has. So we all know that banks are very powerful, but guess what? So are we.
My name is Sienna. I'm one of the co-presidents of QBAC. We're here at SCAN's Seniors for Climate Action Now's protest. We're protesting RBC's investments in fossil fuels. I think it's really great to see young people and old people here together. Sometimes we'll join meetings where there's seniors as part of the group, and they're like, wow, it's great to see young people who care. And we think the same thing. We feel like older people don't care. So I think it really requires everyone working together. The climate crisis affects every aspect of human society, from housing to food security to economics and education and healthcare. So I think it's just, we really all need to work together on this, and it's really energizing to see so many people who care and are coming out in person to put this on. So it's just really awesome to see.
So the first voice that I want to bring in is that of Antonio Guterres, who is the current UN Secretary General. So he has said that nothing could be more clear or present than the danger of fossil fuel expansion. Even in the short term, fossil fuels don't make political or economic sense. So this is one key reason why we have come together today, because we know that we must end the expansion of the fossil fuel industry in order to preserve our life here on this beautiful earth. The second person I want to quote is Bill McKibben, a tireless advocate for Mother Earth, who tells us that money is the oxygen on which the fire of global warming burns. So this explains why we're standing in front of a bank. Canada's 5 biggest banks are among the top funders of fossil fuels in the world.
Whoa!
Shame! And we're in front of RBC in particular because it is the worst of the lot. Since 2016, the bank has invested $263 billion into the fossil fuel sector. That is many, many times over what it has put into the renewable energy that we need for the transition. The third person, actually group of people that I want to quote, is the Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs, who have said that the Coastal GasLink pipeline threatens our medicine, our water, our ancestral lands, our culture, and our homes. Our sacred headwaters, the Wet'suwet'en River, is the lifeline for our people, and it is profoundly at risk. Financing Coastal GasLink is the exact opposite of reconciliation. The fracked gas pipeline violates our hereditary title and has led to years of RCMP violence and harassment of peaceful Indigenous land defenders and the forced removal of Wet'suwet'en peoples from their territory. Hey. So this reminds us that we are here to ask RBC to divest from the fossil fuel sector, not only because of our concerns about the climate crisis, but also as an act of solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en and with other Indigenous groups and communities, not only here in Canada, but also around the world, who are directly harmed by pipelines and other fossil fuel projects and have not given their free, prior, and informed consent for these projects to proceed in their territory. One of the biggest things that you can do is to tell other people in your close communities, in your family, your friends, about the role that banks play in the climate crisis. And RBC is the biggest target, but all of the big banks in Canada are a problem. You can also decide to switch banks or switch to a credit union, and make sure if you do that, that you tell them why you're leaving. You can also go to shiftaction.ca and send a letter to your pension, because there are some big meetings coming up with shareholder actions, and those shareholders can tell RBC that they want them to divest and that they want them to take Indigenous rights seriously.
And if you would like to make the switch from RBC or one of Canada's big 5 banks, those are RBC, Scotiabank, CIBC, TD, and BMO. The 5 biggest banks in Canada who invest in fossil fuels, you should consider a credit union. They invest a lot in local businesses. A lot of them don't invest in fossil fuels at all, and you can do the same thing with them as any bank. So just look into that and make that switch. It'll make a big impact in the long run, and make sure you tell your bank why you're closing your account.
RBC has got